All right, so far we've been writing equations in slope-intercept form. And if we think back to slope-intercept form, we know it's y is equal to mx plus b, where m is going to be our slope, and we know b is the y-intercept. So an example of writing an equation of the line with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 6 in slope-intercept form would follow this format. We know that slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b, where we substitute in our m and our b. Well, our m here is 3, because slope is m, and b here is 0, -6. So writing our equation in slope-intercept form would look like y is equal to 3x minus 6. However, there is another way to write an equation. And in order to write this equation, we're going to use a new form called point-slope form. And that form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, where m is still the slope, and x1, y1 is a coordinate point. We use point-slope form when we're given or can find the slope and a point. An example of writing an equation of the line with a slope of 2 and passing through the point 4, -3 in point-slope form. Going back to our form, you know it's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. We know we need to plug in a point and our slope. Our slope is 2. So 2 will go where m goes. We know our point is 4, 3. So 4 will go where x1 goes, and -3 will go where y1 goes. So plugging in our known values, we get the equation y minus a -3 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. To simplify this even further, we would get the final equation in point-slope form is y plus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. All right, now it's your turn to practice. Stop the video, do it on your own, play the video, check your work, and if you're still confused, watch the video as it walks you through your answer. All right, we know point-slope form, because we have to write an equation on the line, is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. We know our slope for our first problem is 2. Oops, meant to highlight this. Is 2. So that's going to go where m is, because m is our slope. And for the second question, our slope is 4, so that's where m is going to go. We have a point, so we can take this point from either problem and plug in the y value for y1 and the x value for x1. When I do that for problem number 1, I get y minus 9, because that's in the y spot, is equal to my slope, which is negative 2, times x minus 2, which is in the x spot. For the second question, I get y minus a negative 1 is equal to 4 times x minus a negative 3. We don't want double negatives, so we're going to want to simplify that to y plus 1 is equal to 4 times x plus 3. And we're done. Sometimes writing an equation in point-slope form isn't that easy. And that's when you're given 2 points but no slope. That doesn't mean, though, that you can't use point-slope form. You just have to do an extra step. The first step is to calculate your slope using the slope formula. If we go back to when we first started this unit, we know how to find slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Find the change of your y's over the change of your x's. Then, once you have your slope, substitute that slope into point-slope form and choose one of the 2 points to plug in. All right, let's do an example of this. Write the equation of the line that passes through the points negative 1, 4, and 5, 8 in point-slope form. Notice we were given points but no slope. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope between the 2 points. Going back to finding slope, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You get 8 minus 4 over 5 minus a negative 1, which becomes 8 minus 4 is 4, and 5 plus a positive 1 is 6. This then reduces to 2/3. So my slope, or my n value, is 2/3. Now that I have my slope, I need just 1 point, because it's called point-slope form, from my given data. Now it doesn't matter which point I choose from above. I could choose negative 1, 4, or I could choose 5, 8. It doesn't matter, because my linear equation passes through both of those points, and both of them are true in my equation. So one example of an equation I could write is y minus 8 is equal to 2/3, because that's my slope, times x minus 5. I could also choose the other point and get the equation y minus 4 is equal to 2/3 times x minus a negative 1, which then becomes y minus 4 is equal to 2/3 times x plus 1. Both the blue and the pink equations are true. Again, now it's your turn. Pause the video, try these 2 problems on your own. When you're done, play the video and check your work. If you're not understanding where the answers are coming, watch the video. All right, first step to do here is to write an equation of a line in point-slope form given the 2 points. We know in point-slope form we need a point, which we have one, but we're missing our slope. So that's what we need to find. I'm going to find slope by finding my change of y over my change of x. When I do that, I get 8 minus 2, which gives me 6, and then negative 6 minus a negative 8, and that gives me a positive 2, which my slope ends up being 3. Now I have my slope. I'm going to just choose one point. Let's choose this point, negative 6, 8. Doesn't really matter. And my final equation in point slope form is y minus 8 is equal to 3 times x minus a negative 6, which becomes y minus 8 is equal to 3 times x plus 6. Or if I chose my other point, I would have gotten y minus 2 is equal to 3 times x plus 8. Again, for this problem off to the side, I have 2 points, but I don't have a slope. So I need to go ahead and find my slope by finding my change in y over my change in x. 17 minus 5 is 12 over 4 minus 0, which is 4, which gives me another slope of 3. Choose a point from one of my points given. Let's choose 0, 5. And construct our equation. We're going to get y minus 5 is equal to 3 times x minus 0. Or if you chose the other point, you could have gotten y minus 17 is equal to 3 times x minus 4. Another cool thing about point slope form is if we know the slope and we know the point, we can use this form first and then rewrite it into slope-intercept form. An example of this is as follows. Write the equation on the line with a slope of 2 that goes through the point 4, negative 3 in slope-intercept form. I can't write this equation in slope-intercept form right away because I don't know my y-intercept. I only know a point on my line and my slope. Because I know a point and because I know my slope, I can use point slope form to start before I get to slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and create our equation using our point and our slope. Our equation here is going to be y minus a negative 3, which becomes y plus 3, is equal to my slope times x minus 4. I have my linear equation, but I want it to be in slope-intercept form. So in order to do that, I'm going to transform my equation in point slope form into slope-intercept form by isolating the y. So let's go ahead and do that. Looking at my equation, I have y plus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. I'm going to first distribute my 2 into my parentheses so that I can get it more simplified to 2x minus 8. I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides here to give me y is equal to 2x minus 11. I can combine 8 and 3 because they're like terms, so that gives me the final equation in slope-intercept form of y is equal to 2x minus 11. All right, now it's your turn. Write the equation of the line in point slope form, then rewrite it into slope-intercept form. Try it on your own and push the video if you need help. Please make sure you're also checking your work. All right, let's get started. First things first, I know I have a point and I know I have a slope. So I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus 9 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 2. I have my equation in point-slope form. Now I need to write it into slope-intercept form. The first thing I'm going to do is distribute my slope into the parentheses. I'm going to get y minus 9 is equal to negative 2x plus 4. Add 9 to both sides so that I'm isolating my y. And I get y is equal to negative 2x plus 13. There's my final answer in slope-intercept form. All right, let's do the next one. Again, I have a slope and a point. I'm going to first write my equation in point-slope form, which is y plus 1 is equal to 4 times x plus 3. Now, the reason I just wrote plus 1 is it's because minus a negative 1, which is really like saying y plus a positive 1. It's in point-slope form. I need to convert it into slope-intercept form, so I'm going to distribute my slope into my parentheses. I get y plus 1 is equal to 4x plus 12. Subtract 1 on both sides. You get y is equal to 4x plus 11. And that's my final answer. All right. In this example, they want us to write the equation of the line that passes through these points in slope-intercept form. The only thing is I don't have a slope or a y-intercept, so I can't just start in slope-intercept form. I have to kind of start backwards. And that's where point-slope form comes in handy, right? I have 2 points. Well, if I take my 2 points and find my slope, then I can take my slope and a point and write my equation in point-slope form to then get me into slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and calculate my slope. Change of y over change of x. 8 minus 4 is 4. 5 minus 3 is 2. I get a slope of 2. I'm going to go ahead and take my slope in one of the points. Let's use 3, 4. And write my equation in point-slope form. I get y minus 4 is equal to 2 times x minus 3. I'm almost done, but the last part is I need to rewrite it in slope-intercept form. So I need to distribute my slope to give me y minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 6. Add 4 to both sides to isolate your y. You get y is equal to 2x minus 2. Your final answer of your equation in slope-intercept form is y is equal to 2x minus 2. All right. Write the equation of the line in point-slope form, then rewrite it into slope-intercept form. Pause the video, do it on your own, watch the video if you're still confused. All right, let's get started. First things first, I'm going to find my slope. I don't know my slope, so my change of y over my change of x. It's going to give me 8 minus 2, which is 6, and negative 6 minus a negative 8 is negative 6 plus a positive 8, which is a positive 2, which is a slope of 3. Write my equation in point-slope form. Y minus 8 is equal to 3 times x plus 6. Convert this equation into slope-intercept form by distributing your slope into your parentheses and add 8 to both sides to isolate your y. You get y is equal to 3x plus 26. There's your final answer. Looking at the second one, I need to find my slope. 17 minus 5. Over 4 minus 0 gives you a slope of 12 over 4, which is 3. Your slope here is 3. Now I need to write your equation in point-slope form in order to get it into slope-intercept form. Y minus 5 is equal to 3 times x minus 0. Distribute your slope into your parentheses. You get y minus 5 is equal to 3x, and 3 times 0 is just 0, so I don't need to add that in. Add 5 to both sides. You get y is equal to 3x plus 5. And you're done. We just went through a whole lot of stuff. If you're still confused, rewatch it, try it on your own again, and we will spend more time practicing on this tomorrow.